Why do we sit here being silent, watching our leaders turn into tyrants? Have they forgotten which side they're fighting for? Checks and balances set aside and rule of laws, youth and ours, and Constitution openly ignored. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Is it time for right and left to join a greater cause? Man, I'm not okay. The rich claim to be victimized just to attack the marginalized. Is 1% really worth more than all the sick and poor? Always preaching about fellowship while planning their dictatorship. Now we've seen how all of this plays out before. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call. Man, I'm not okay. Ever wonder all the mystery, why they whitewash our history, keep dividing is their plan? All in all, such a scam. Algorithm very sly, only used to spread the lies. Politicians know well, hate is simple to upsell. Man, I'm not okay. Think we are being played. Time for you and I to join our country's call.
We are not okay. America is not okay, and we all know that. Former Congressman Joe Walsh, this is The Social Contract with Joe Walsh. Let's figure out how to get okay together. Hey, Monday. I said Saturday night when I first heard about what happened at the White House Correspondents' dinner, I said, that's wrong and it's not surprising. And here we are 2 days later. And my great pearl of wisdom this Monday morning, I hope you all had a good weekend. Former Congressman Joe Walsh with you this Monday. That's my pearl of wisdom this Monday, 2 days after another act of political violence in America, another seemingly assassination attempt on President Trump, another act of political hate. Who knows how many people could have been killed? But clearly the killer Saturday night had his sights set on Trump and other Trump administration officials. So another act of political violence in America. Another attempt on Trump's life. And I'm left here this Monday, again, with those two thoughts. What happened Saturday night is wrong. It was an act of political violence. What this, I think, 31-year-old guy was doing or attempting to do is wrong. Doesn't matter what the fuck his ideology was. It doesn't matter what his beef was with Donald Trump. It was an act of political violence. All political violence is wrong. You would think that that's the one thing, the bare minimum thing everybody in this country can agree upon. All political violence is wrong. But that's the easy take. And that was my easy take Saturday night. That's still my easy take. My other take, though, isn't as easy because my other take involves some real soul searching on all of us. What happened Saturday night is not at all surprising. I wasn't surprised. Were you? When you heard about this act of political violence at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, were you surprised when you heard it? When you surprised there was another guy out gunning for Donald Trump? Were you surprised? I wasn't at all. And I said that repeatedly Saturday night, and I said it a bunch yesterday, and I said it on the TV and the radio this morning, same thing. And a lot of people get offended by that. Like somehow I'm trying to excuse what this attempted killer was doing. I'm trying to excuse this act of political violence because he was going after Trump, somebody I don't like. Like some people said, because I said what happened Saturday night is not at all surprising in America today. Somebody said, well, that's just another way of saying that Trump deserved it. No, if I said Trump deserved it, I would have said Trump deserved it. I don't believe Donald Trump deserves any act of political violence upon him. I simply said what happened isn't surprising. And for anybody offended by that, do you disagree? By the way, do you disagree with either one of my takes? What happened Saturday night is wrong, and what happened Saturday night is not at all surprising. Do you disagree? Is there anybody left or right that disagrees with either one of those takes? Of course not. Of course you don't disagree. Again, right? It was wrong. All political violence is wrong. That's easy, right? To say that and believe that. But be honest with me. No matter your politics, be honest with me. You weren't surprised by what you heard Saturday night, were you? And even to my MAGA brothers and sisters who found out about Saturday night, you weren't surprised, right? You probably said to yourselves, aha, another leftist. This is the left again going after Trump. Even if you believe that, then you weren't surprised. Because you've told me a bunch. The left is all about violence. So this is the third attempt on Trump's life. So there's no way you were surprised, MAGA. None of us should be. This is America today. Why is it not surprising that there was another act of political violence in this country? Why was it not surprising that somebody else went looking for Trump to do harm to Donald Trump? Why is it not surprising? Because I guess, because we live in a country now where we are at each other's throats politically. It's what I talk about a whole bunch, right? We are so dangerously divided, right? All of us, we're dangerously divided. Too many of us are on this road of hate, where we hate the people we disagree with politically. You've heard me talk about this now for the last few years. And once you're on that road of hate, where you hate the people you disagree with politically, the end destination on that road is violence, that road of hate. And more of us are on that road. And by the way, MAGA, by the way, far left, by the way, everybody in between, this is a both sides issue. This is an all sides issue. Political violence is on the rise, left and right. Political hate is through the roof, left and right. Way too many Americans are on this road. So at that level, another guy, somebody else trying to commit an act of violence, political violence, it's not surprising. With so many Americans on that road of hate, right? So many of us on the road of hate, where we hate the people we disagree with, you're always going to have bad, sick, messed up people on that road of hate who then take that hate and try to commit an act of political violence. And that's what this guy did Saturday night. So at that level, it's not surprising. This is America today. It's not a good place to be, but this is where we are today. And you know what? It's not surprising as well. And I'll openly talk about this. It's not surprising as well because Donald Trump is the cruelest, most hateful president we've ever had. Donald Trump is the most divisive president we've ever had. Donald Trump lives off of hate and division. The current president. This is how he does what he does. This is how he was able to win. He spreads hate and fear and cruelty and division. This is who Trump is. He is a purposefully divisive guy. And I want to make really clear here. I think the things Trump does, ICE, a lot of his policies are based on hate, cruelty, division, and fear. I'm not even talking about those. Like you and I can sit down and have a disagreement about what ICE is doing. I right now am just talking about what Donald Trump says, period. I'm just talking about his rhetoric. Forget about his policies. Forget about the stuff he's doing. Again, I can argue with you and have a conversation with you that his policies are based on hate and fear, but I don't even need to go down that road right now to make the point I want to make. I'm just talking about the shit that Trump says. We have never, ever, ever in American history had a president who just says publicly every day such divisive, hateful, cruel stuff. So it's not surprising. It's wrong, but it's not surprising that someone would lash out against him. I'm not justifying it. I'm not excusing it. I'm not defending it. I simply said what that 31-year-old guy did Saturday night is not surprising. He was out for Trump. Couldn't stand the things that Trump was doing and saying. By the way, he had a big beef with the Epstein files. He thought Trump was a pedophile, a rapist, a traitor, and he was pissed off, righteously pissed off, he said, that the Epstein files hadn't been released. Trump's already lying about who the guy is, like this was an attack on Christians. He was the attempted killer was anti-Christian. The killer was a devout Christian. When you read his manifesto, it's all based on his Christianity. He considered what he was doing Saturday night to be he was a righteous warrior in the name of Jesus Christ. Since Saturday night, on the right, MAGA, people talking about toning down the rhetoric. See, right away, it's the left, right? Here we go again. Somebody on the left, and this guy that was after Trump Saturday night comes from the left. He's of the left. And so right away then, the MAGA right, Republicans right away, say the entire left is to blame for what this guy did. That's the game they are just obsessed with playing, that when someone on the left commits an act of violence, then the entire left is to blame. This is the game MAGA wants to play. Remember Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, man. It wasn't just that 22-year-old Utah dude. No, it was the entire left killed Charlie Kirk. That's a bad, dangerous, immature game to play. castigating half the country when somebody on that half commits an act of violence. And if the MAGA right want to play that game, well, then by golly, we can play that game too, right? I mean, and I'm just riffing off the top of my head. You remember the 2019 El Paso Walmart shooter, right? An American, a white dude, a Walmart down in El Paso. He was out to kill as many Hispanics, Latinos as he could. Remember that? 2019. And he killed 23 Hispanics, Latinos, killed 23, injured 22. Right? Remember that happened in 2019. Turns out that shooter believed. That shooter believed he was acting on the direction of Donald Trump. We have to stop this invasion of brown and black people. That El Paso Walmart shooter believed Trump was directing him to stop an invasion at our border. And he killed 23 Latinos. Okay. So then if we're playing that game, Trump's to blame for that. The entire Republican Party's to blame for that, what that one guy did. I mean, he said it. It's in the court proceedings, man. He said it. His lawyer said it. He believed he was acting on the behalf of Donald Trump. It's right there in the record. So if we're going to play this game that the left's to blame when one of theirs done it, and all of the right is to blame when one of theirs done it, well then, okay, Donald Trump, Republican Party, you all killed all 23 of those Hispanics down at that El Paso Walmart in 2019 and injured the other 22. You all are responsible. You want to play that game? Because I got a lot more examples too. We can keep playing that game, right? Blaming an entire half of the country for the act of an individual, or we can grow up and blame the individual. Here's my point. When I say that I'm not surprised by what happened Saturday night, Donald Trump's for the past, 11 years, from the moment he came down that escalator in 2015, there is no one in this country who has spread more hate and more cruelty in the last 11 years than Donald Trump. No one. There is no one who has spread more fear in the last 11 years than Donald Trump. No one. There is no one more divisive these past 11 years than Donald Trump. No one. And there is no one in this country who has incited more political violence these past 11 years than Donald Trump. No one. So I'm not at all surprised that in a country with a president who's the most divisive guy we've ever had, who lights a fucking flame every day to incite violence and hate, I'm not at all surprised that hate is on the rise and violence is on the rise in this country. Not at all. With him in the White House, forget about what he's done. And by the way, what he's done, right? No doubt people are acting out on what he's done. This attempted killer Saturday night was pissed off at Trump because of the Epstein files cover-up. I mean, that's something Trump's done. Trump has purposely covered up what's in the Epstein files. I'm just talking about what Trump says and posts every day. He, more than any other person in this country the past 11 years, more than anyone, has created the hate and created the conditions for political violence in this country more than anybody else. So yeah, I'm not surprised there are people in this country who are going to react to that. And when you react to what Trump says with violence, you're wrong. It's wrong. And you ought to be prosecuted and put away. And this guy will be prosecuted and put away. So I ain't justifying or defending any violence. I'm trying to help grow understanding as to why we're here. And to those of you offended when I said what happened Saturday night didn't surprise you, and I want you to understand what I mean, right? We've got the most divisive asshole ever in the White House. No, I'm not surprised that people have reacted to that. And I'm not going to start. I could spend 7 weeks worth of shows on things that Trump has said and done. Excuse me, on just things Trump has said that have been hateful, cruel, divisive, and an incitement to violence. I mean, I just, again, off the top of my head, was it just a few months ago, he said that 6 members of Congress should be hung for treason. He said, Trump said General Mark Milley should be executed for treason. Remember, it was just a month or so ago, he said, I'm glad Bob Mueller is dead. Yay, right? Remember, it was just a few months ago that he said Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner deserve to be killed because they were obsessed with me. They had TDS. I could go on and on and on, but I won't. You get my point. All these MAGA folk yelling that we gots to tone down the rhetoric. Well, love you, my MAGA brothers and sisters, but you need to look at your dear leader, because there ain't nobody in this country with more hateful and more divisive rhetoric than he. Second quick point I want to make, Meghan McCain posted, this is another thing they're doing now. After what happened Saturday night, Meghan McCain posted something to the effect of, I don't want to hear anybody anymore ever criticize the ballroom. This was right after the act of violence Saturday night. The point being that after it happened, Trump and every MAGA influencer and every Republican, it was like they were singing all from the same hymnal immediately right after the event Saturday night. This is why we need the ballroom. This is why we need a ballroom, a safe, secure place on the White House grounds. This is why we need a ballroom. That's offensive. That looks really politically calculating. But I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into the fact that when Trump first presented the ballroom, and for the last number of months when it comes to his stupid ballroom, that if I were elected in 2028, I'd tear the damn thing down. Donald Trump never, ever, ever mentioned the ballroom as a secure location, that we need it for security. So that's a bunch of BS. Here's my point. Meghan McCain said, shut up. Nobody anymore criticized the ballroom. This is something else way too many of us do, right and left, but right more prominently. There's an act of political violence, and then people say, okay, shut up. Quit criticizing Trump. Quit calling Trump a traitor. Quit calling Trump a bad guy. Like Dana Bash, CNN had Jamie Raskin, congressman from Maryland, on yesterday, and like said, you call Trump, do you regret calling Trump a bad president? Like, i.e., do you feel like you helped lead to what happened? Here we go again, Saturday night. Excuse me? Wait a minute now. We can't live in a country where we criticize Trump? We can't say we think Trump is bad. I think Trump is bad. I can't say that. I think the ballroom is a big, stupid, illegal monstrosity that should never be in this country. You're telling me that I'm no longer allowed to say that? Because I might, by saying that the ballroom is a stupid idea, I might incite violence. Meghan McCain? Way too many people react to acts of violence with this. Silencing speech, shutting down speech. 2 quick points. Point number 1, fuck off, Meghan McCain. I'm an American. I have free speech. I can say that I think the ballroom is wrong, a bad idea, and it ought to be torn down. I am an American. I have a right to say that. Don't you ever try to silence my free speech. Don't you ever try to censor me. That's on all sides. You're left, right, you got a right to say whatever you want in this country. But then the second point again. Excuse me? Like words now? Words are violence now? Trump is bad. Well, I think Donald Trump's a traitor. I've said that a bunch. He tried to overthrow an American election. Hell yeah, he's a traitor. He's fucking with our midterms right now. Hell yes, he's a traitor. Excuse me. So if some bad sick dude goes out tomorrow and he believes Trump's a traitor too, and he tries to commit an act of violence, you're going to blame everybody in America who has said Donald Trump's a traitor? Words are violence. I can remember in my old right-wing media days, we would make fun of people on the left who said this, who said that words are violence. Words hurt people. So we need to outlaw words, right? Moving us away from a world that we all grew up in. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Remember, we used to make fun of the left. They want names hurt them. We need to outlaw names, words, speech. Now the same, right? They're saying the same thing now. They're now the offended ones, the easily offended ones. They're now the snowflakes. You can't say Donald Trump is bad? Words are not violence. I have a right to call Donald Trump the very thing our founders feared. I believe that. I have a right to call him that. I have a right to say that it's highly likely Donald Trump's a pedophile. I believe that. I have a right to say it. I have a right to say Donald Trump's a rapist. I believe that. He is, by the way, an adjudicated rapist. There are 36 some women out there have credible allegations that Trump sexually abused, harassed, and raped them. I have a right to call Donald Trump a rapist. I believe he is. And Lord knows I believe Donald Trump is a traitor to this country. I have a right to say those things. I'm an American. I have free speech. I will continue to say those things. And to all of you on the right now who are offended by words, grow the hell up. Final point. And then I'm done, Keith. Only a very broken country and only a very divided country could elect someone like Donald Trump. Only a country with a political system in need of dramatic reform could elect someone like Donald Trump. Because this is the truth, and it's always been the truth, and too many of my friends on the left don't understand this. Donald Trump is not the cause. He's the symptom. Donald Trump is not the cause of, he did not break our politics. He did not cause this dangerous divide in this country. Trump's the symptom of how broken and divided we are. He's the horrible, ugly symptom. I think that's something damn near all of us can agree upon. Only a country that's so broken and so divided and got such issues, only that kind of a country could ever put into power somebody so horrible as Donald Trump. He's not the cause, gang. He's the symptom, the horrible, ugly symptom. And we all need to reflect upon what that means for all of us. And every time there's an act of political violence, it should cause us to reflect upon this. Why are we so broken? Why are we so divided? How do we fix it? How do we get off of this ugly road of hate? Because this won't stop. It created Trump. This won't stop. The brokenness in this country, the divide in this country will create and foster more bad, ugly, horrible political figures, leaders. That's what happens. So it's on us. We got to stop it. We got to heal this country. We got to heal the divide. Or this road of hate will get even more congested, and that will lead to even more acts of political violence. Trump's made everything worse. And yeah, he's divisive and he's hateful and he's cruel. He's the absolute worst of us. We elected the absolute worst of us. We all need to think about how that happened. All of us, left, right, middle. We elected the absolute worst of us twice. So all you other political figures, you need to do some self-examining. How the hell did Donald Trump get elected? What aren't you doing? Who aren't you listening to? What needs are you not meeting? That so many Americans felt like they gotta put in power the absolute worst of us to help their lives. Think about that. All you other political leaders, Democrats, all of you, think about that. And then on the right, man, you all need to think about, we elected the absolute worst of us. He is divisive, hateful, and cruel, and you may like a lot of the stuff he's doing, but do you really want to continue electing bad, horrible people, Republican and Democrat? Every time this happens, I say the same thing. This country's broken. We're so much more broken than I think people understand. This country's divided, so much more divided than most people know. I see it every day. I hear it every day, which is why I'm out there also every day, every couple weeks, trying to bring people together with hopenotfearproject.org. What do we have to do? I think what we have to do is get off of the road of hate. How do we get off of the road of hate? We get off of our social, we kind of put away our social media selves, and we speak to people. We have conversations with people, face-to-face conversations with people to try to grow understanding. Trump's not the cause. He's the symptom of a people that have lost their way. That's all. Thanks for listening, guys. Don't feel like promoting anything today. I'll just say, if you do want to email me about anything, feel free to thesocialcontractwithjoewalsh@gmail.com, all one word. Shoot me an email about anything. I will respond. Thanks. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, follow, and share The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple, Spotify. Plus, don't forget to subscribe to The Social Contract on Substack. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.